Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back. We're still in the Western Cape. This time around, we're going to be joined by Sheikh Riyad Fattar. He's from the MJC, and we're going to be looking at the armed robbery at a mosque in downtown Johannesburg. Now, before we are joined by the Sheikh, we're going to play the clip of that from the video. And thereafter, obviously, we're going to then discuss the situation. So please do stay with us. Okay, that was a clip of a hold-up of musallis in a masjid in downtown Johannesburg, and obviously that must have been at a Jummah. Well, that's what I'm assuming anyway. I could be wrong, but be that as it may, this obviously is going to make the crooks got away with it, obviously. This is going to make them feel very complacent about the situation. And undoubtedly, there's going to be a lot of such copycat situations throughout masjids in the country. I'm not putting thoughts in anyone's head, but I think this is a reality. In the past, we know that people's shoes were stolen on a very regular basis, till our brothers became wise enough and they wore their sloffies to the masjids. But now the crooks are becoming even more brazen. What have we learned from the situation, and how do our brothers and fathers protect themselves going forward? Second Deputy President at the MJC, Sheikh Riyad Fattar. Assalamu alaikum to you. Welcome to the program.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban to all of the listeners and viewers.
Outrageous, isn't it? Absolutely
It is,
outrageous.
you know,
It's a time of connecting to your creator. It's a time of
exactly.
supposed safety and sanctity, and then you are outraged. You are violated in that place of safety in this
No
horrendous
doubt,
manner.
actually. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala ashraf al-mursaleen, Sayyidina wa Nabiyyina wa Mawlana Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Let me from the outset say, Julie, that the first of all, we look at the sanctity of all places of worship.
Absolutely.
This is a rainbow nation. We have different religions that are in the country, and any person going to their place of worship, the Deen of Islam would want to see that nobody is touched or hurt. Innocent people, especially going to the masjid. And like you have said, the masjid not just being a place of worship, not that only connecting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because that salah, the musalli, is his or her mi'raj to Allah subhanahu, the ascension to Allah ta'ala. So when we speak about places of worship, the word that must go out that this is a red line, that this is unacceptable. We cannot allow our already imams are struggling to get the people back into the masjid because of COVID-19 and so on. Now we're sitting with the safety issue. You know, when we saw this thing, it immediately hit us back to 2018, when a masjid in Malmesbury was attacked. 3 people were killed, and this was while sleeping for i'tikaf. So it really sends out serious signals to us, because as an imam, you lead the people from in front, but your backs are all towards the doors and you don't know what is happening behind you. And it just seems like we probably need to encourage to have somebody as security behind our backs, because not only do we know the shoes is an old problem, not all masajid are able to have cameras. within the masjid area. Not all masajid can afford a security guard. I mean, one must remember, ulama their lives are also at stake. Are they not the ones that have been looking after the community with the affairs that people come to the imam of the masjid? The masjid itself, its sanctity, is the place of nikah. And please bear in mind, we are not blinded to the fact that there are also Muslims that are involved in this. And we've seen on different footages of cameras of masajid, Muslims have come into the masjid and has done either vandalism to the masjid or stolen shoes or whatever the case may be. But the situation is unacceptable. Government, local government, the councillors all must put out a message that the place of worship is a red line and we are not going to accept that because, I mean, these same people, it is the religious fraternity that looks after their births. It is the religious fraternity that has to look after their funerals. I mean, how many times do you hear people that have been shot and killed and because they've been involved in some haram activity in terms of gangsterism and so on, yet still the family comes forward to the masjid and say, we can't afford to pay for the janazah, and we have to look after them. So therefore, this is totally ridiculous. It is unacceptable. That little place of tranquility that we call the people to the masjid is completely being disturbed. So we are calling on the government. We are calling on our local councillors. Put your foot down. Places of worship should not be the place where any these kind of criminal activity is going to be allowed. And they must make their voices loud and clear. To the masajid, unfortunately, we have to now be much more vigilant. We must put things in place that is going to protect us. You cannot depend on whatever services is around to protect the musallis. And somewhere along the line, we have to find a middle road that we can help. And those people in our community that are financially stable, Allah's given them a bit of extra rizq. Maybe it is time you come forward and help the masajid in terms of safety and security, and we see what measures can be put in there. The community itself should also be approached, and this must be done on a wide level through the different organizations that we have, that these kind of things. So what I mean by that is somebody sees something is going towards a masjid or towards any place of worship, then at least the community is going to stand up. We need to get back to the hadith of the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, where the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam says, Man ra minkum munkaran falyughayru biyadihi, fa in lam yastati' fa bi lisanihi, fa in lam yastati' fa bi qalbi wa dhalika adhafu liman. We must stop being quiet now, because our community is going down the tubes. The Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam says, any of you see something that is detested, then do something with your hand. We need to come out in groups and stop them. And we do this for the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Our children that are naughty, we need to take hold of them. So the community needs to get into action. If you cannot do that, says the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, you cannot physically or by your hand stop this, then at least word of mouth. You know the auntie that stands there by the gate and whatever, hey, where are you going? Hey, what you doing? And all of these are all deterrent measures.
Absolutely.
Today, people are leaving the children and everybody just to do their own thing. And this hadith is forgotten, but be brought back again. How many a times when we were children, the old aunties, uncles, they stop you, hey, what you doing? Why are you doing this? They stop somebody smoking, and why are you standing and talking here? We can no longer just say it's not my business, because the hadith, or it's called hadith safina, indicates that what affects one group of people is going to affect everybody. You are going to be affected by what happens in your community. So you better stand up and do something about it instead of turning around and going back into your house. Furthermore, the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam says, if you cannot do that, then make dua, and that is the weakest form of iman. But at least make dua. Dua by us is a powerful weapon, and it has helped in tremendous amount. Always dua will always help. So at least make dua. But we must do something. We cannot sit back and not do anything about it. Whether we employ a non-Muslim and say, listen, stand by the door while we're making salah and so on. You don't need to just shout out, whatever the case may be. Or the masjid can afford to employ somebody as security. We know the person is not trained, but at least there is somebody to remind the jama'ah, or get a security company. Oh, that's another thing. Our Muslim security companies that have these guards and so on, maybe they should also make a turnaround at the masjid, check if everything is all right and so on, because we know what time is salah, and we know it doesn't take that long, probably maximum 10 minutes, and then everybody leaves again. But these kind of measures we have to look at and see what we can apply, inshallah ta'ala.
Okay, we have a message from Sister Leah Lynette Robbery. Assalamu alaikum to you, dear sister. Thank you for becoming a part of the conversation. Leah says, Assalamu alaikum. Eye for an eye is an acceptable practice for many religions. What do you think of returning fire on these jinn? Uh, yeah, what also comes to mind for me, and I will allow you to respond to Leah as well, is I think the Muslim community are so visible in all of their charitable efforts, not only in South Africa but even beyond. And you'd think that the people who are involved in these type of activities, these nefarious activities at masajids, etc., do they not apply their minds and think this is a community that is very, very proactive regarding upliftment of poorer communities? I mean, one of the organizations that come to mind immediately is Gift of the Givers, and Muslim organizations does sterling work in our communities and beyond. They need to apply their minds when they decide to go and hit soft targets like Muslim brothers at prayer in the masajid of all places. Sheikh?
Yeah, I look, for the lady that sent in the message. Let me tell you, when there are shoes stolen at the masjid, the brothers get very upset. And some people have gotten a very solid hiding because of that. And I can tell you about one imam. While the people were beating the person that was stealing the shoes at the back, and they rushed to the imam, some of the community, Imam stopped him rudely. They said, he turned his back, and what he told me was, let them first give him a hiding, and so on. So, yeah, but it's very dangerous to leave this in the hands of the community. It's not something we're going to encourage. It takes a while for the imam to get out of the masjid to deal with the situation that is happening outside. But we have to put things into practice. Unfortunately, we cannot apply just an eye for an eye in our present day system. We have a police force, we have a security system in place, and so on. And at the end of the day, we don't want the innocent people to land up in jail. They have been there to protect the community and the masjid.
Okay, Sheikh Riyad Fattar, that is all we have time for. Undoubtedly, I understand that video has gone viral, and I think all masajids, committees, the community at large is really reeling from this. Shukran, nobody was hurt, or there were no fatalities or anything, but if it goes unchecked, it's going to spread. And this is now time where the masjid communities and communities need to put their heads together and decide the best way forward in protecting the musallis and the property as well. So you go well. Shukran very much for your thoughts this morning. Keep us in your du'as. Assalamu alaikum to you.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
That was Sheikh Riyad Fattar talking about the hold-up at a masjid in downtown Johannesburg. That brings us to 13 after 9. And I know I'm not popular with you, dear Razai Jadwat. Assalamu alaikum. And I know you're going straight into the news.